So the feature race on Sunday is the HKSAR Chief Executives Cup. 1200 metres, it's a Class 1 with 7 runners in the field, headed by Blizzard. Third in this race last year, 133 pounds on his back, and the blinkers come off as well. Magic Legend, a 4-time winner here at Sha Tin last season. Fabulous One, he'll roll forward, a 4-time course and distance winner. Season's Bloom, Class Act, is this on the short side for him? Strathmore, he's very good on his day. Shamal rattled off 5 course and distance wins last season, and Southern Legend goes up in class, a big win at Happy Valley at the end of last year, Brett.
Should be a good pace here, Andrew. Fabulous One is a jump and run machine, as is Shamal, and they were both in a recent trial, and Fabulous One led Shamal, and I think that'll be the same case in our feature on Sunday. Magic Legend likely to posse in behind. If Blizzard gets into the 1-by-1 position there, I think that's a terrific result. It's going to be tough with that weight, though, for him.
It will be. Fabulous One, as you can see here. Now, he's put on 21 pounds, but he looks good for it. He's moving really nicely here, and it was a good workout here from Fabulous One, and he's going to be leading. Now, Southern Legend, I just thought I'd show you a couple of pieces from him. As you can see, he's the one closest to us, and Karis just clicks him up there, and he's going nicely with Speedy Wally, who generally does work pretty well in the morning. Now, this was a piece of work from the 18th of August, and now this is him again on the 30th of August, so we're just showing the progression here of Southern Legend, and you can see he's really keen on his work. He's got his ears really pinned back, and he's going nicely.
All right, well, we saw Fabulous One first up. Let's hear from the man who's going to be on board, Matthew Poon, of course, now just claiming 7. Here talking with Ed Sadler.
Matthew, you rode Fabulous One on the weekend. You rode him at barrier trial recently. Just tell us about the horse.
In the trial, he trialed really well, and I think he better run because he after a break. I think he run fresh. He will run really well, and small field. I think he can go really well.
Shamal's also in the race, so you've got 2 speed horses involved there. Is that a concern at all?
Yeah, a little bit. I just worry about the speed. Like he take me on and make me work a little bit hard, but small field, like, you know, they won't go crazy. Yeah, I don't think we'll go too hard anyway.
For yourself too, looking back, it's been a whirlwind 6 months for you, really, too. A really good season here, your first season in Hong Kong, and then a busy off-season too. 6 winners in Singapore, including a Group 3. Well done there.
Yeah, it is. It's really great opportunity to go overseas, like, for race riding, because, like, I don't think many apprentices can got a chance to do that. So I'm very pleased. The cup, the Hong Kong Jockey Cup and South Australia Jockey Cup, they give me that opportunity. So now I really enjoy it. Yeah.
He certainly hasn't been resting on his laurels, Matthew, in the off-season. Now, you can see, got himself a new toy in the off-season. More on that in a second. But firstly, on Fabulous One, boys, Brett, like you said, the speed map sort of picks itself, but you know, if they take each other on, it could turn into a real duel out in front.
It could do. I don't think it's going to happen, though, Andrew. I think Fabulous One's clearly the horse that's got the most pace over the first couple of hundred. Shamal will be there, but like in that trial, I think Fabulous One, they'll want the lead. He's pretty much a one-trick pony. Jump, lead, make them catch him. I think it's fair to say that he was a little bit jaded in Dubai at the end of last season, and he ran a really good race back here before we had the break. Just that trial there, they rarely break 110 on the dirt. He's done that, and he's done it very, very well. He was obviously sort of, you know, branded as potentially a better horse on the dirt, but he's got very good form on the turf. I think he'll jump, he'll run here. We're on the B course. He's going to take all the catching with 110 pounds to carry. Yeah,
Shamal's getting him left. Do you think they were trying him out there, Paul, to see if he could take a sit?
It looked that way, didn't it, in that particular trial? And I think that'll happen race day. I think Dylan Moe, I think it'd be suicide if he does try and take on Fabulous One for both those horses. So I think he'll try and sit and give this horse the best possible chance. And that 21 pounds on Fabulous One, really like that. I think it's going to be very tough to beat.
Yeah, all right. We'll say the touch screen will give us a few tools to play with throughout the course this season. We're going to use it here to have a look at some of the other contenders, starting off with Southern Legend, Brett. Now, he came here with a big reputation, good form out of Australia. Disappointing, I say, to a certain extent at Sha Tin first off, because he went off favourite, largely ignored here because it was a big price, $19.
Yeah, well, as Paul would say, there has been plenty of chatter about this horse over the last 6 months, and yeah, he didn't fire first up. They went to the Valley, and he produced a terrific turn of acceleration. Admittedly, there was good pace. Super Turbo, the little grey horse with the side winkers, very established horse over the course and distance at the Valley, and he finished as good as him. Listed winner in Australia before he came to Hong Kong. He was group placed as well. There's a lot of upside with him. horses with the lighter weights have got a good record in this race.
The time was very good here, Paul, as well. 109 inside a standard, 109.55, and beat some nice horses.
He did, and we saw that track work as well. So he has been working well. He's had plenty of work going into this particular race. Just as long as he can bring that Happy Valley form back to Sha Tin, because he was a little bit big, I thought, on his debut run. So maybe he obviously improved between races 1 and 2. If he can improve again, he'll need to. If he can, then he can be in the finish, yeah.
Season's Bloom, Brett, last year, he was a class act, wasn't he? This is his last start, his last win, but it's 1,600 metres, not 12.
That's right, yeah. The distance is probably not ideal for him. He's a quality horse, as you mentioned, Andrew. He went through the 4-year-old series, wasn't at the top echelon with Rapid Dragon and co, but he wasn't far behind. He's a very honest horse. There's not a huge amount of him. He's got 117 here, which is a plus for him, but the 1,200 metres is going to be a bit sharp. This is here over a mile. He put them away, showed his real quality. But I just think, looking at his trial that we saw at the Carnival, he was just pushed on a little bit in the final stages, came off the bridle, suggesting the sharpness of the race may be against him.
If they did go really quick, though, Paul, he's going to do all his best work at the end.
That's the key. He will be doing his best work at the end. Even in that one, you saw him once he flattened out. He hit the line really strongly. He ended up winning the race really well. But he did just take that little while just to get into that stage, and that was a mile. So I am a bit worried over 1,200.
Yeah. Well, you touch on that trial, Brett, on the opening day, the grass trials. Here he is. We can have a look at them once more. Blizzard as well. He jumped out, did this very smoothly. Zach Purton was on board. Season's Bloom here on the inside, a little bit outpaced, but when he got going, he really stayed on strongly.
He did, and a straight 1,000-metre trial at Sha Tin is, is a strong 1,000. So it's it's pretty much like a 1,200-metre race almost. But you can see the ground that he's behind here on Blizzard, and Blizzard's going as comfortably, probably looking more comfortable than Season's Bloom. Obviously, there's a huge difference in the weights on race day, but I just think Season's Bloom will run an honest race, but there'll be better races for him down the track.
Time was quick again, Paul. Quickest of the day, but again, there was class horses involved.
Yeah, these were the class horses on that particular night. And Blizzard, I mean, the conditions are against him. That's the question mark. He's talked about going to Japan as well, 133 pounds. That's the question mark. But he is the class horse of the field.
No earplugs either.
No, they've chopped and changed with the gear. Yeah. I did hear an interview with Karras as well, with Ed Sadler on HK Direct, and he said that, the horse is very adaptable. He can jump, he can get into the bridle, he can also sit back and relax. So, he's really developed into a fully furnished type, Blizzard, and gear or no gear, he'll run an honest race.
All right, well, another horse had a great season last year was Magic Legend. Really got through the grades. He's now in triple figures as far as the ratings are concerned. This was his trial back. Lacklustre, maybe, Paul?
Yeah, a little bit, I thought. Now, you've got to take this with a grain of salt because it's the dirt, so it's a completely different surface. But you'd like to have seen him hit the line a little bit stronger than he did it here in the end. Look, he has been working well leading into this particular trial, so if you forgive him for this and what he showed last year, he'll be in the finish.
Wasn't a poor trial by any stretch of the imagination, but I could see where Paul's coming from. The thing I look about him with Magic Legend, I think there is a little bit more scope, but he had such a terrific season last time. He won 4 from, 7 starts, and then he sort of got to the 108 that he's at now, and he sort of found it a little more difficult. So he won't be far away, but he'll be one that I'm sort of just pushing out and letting others in.
All right, OK. Just the 7 runners, Paul. It doesn't necessarily make it easy for the selection.
No, it's a really good race, this one, and as you'd expect as well. But I'm going to go with Fabulous One on top. I just think it'll be Catch Me If You Can. Tactics with 110 pounds. Matthew Poon aboard from Barrier 1. And as I've mentioned a couple of times, that 21 pounds, he's strengthened it nicely. Blizzard's the class horse of the field, so I loathe to leave him out, and he's got a really good fresh-up record. Magic Legend will forgive him for that dirt trial. And Southern Legend, the one horse I think will be running on the end, if he can bring that form to Sha Tin, then he could be in the finish as well. 3-1-2-7.
I'm going to take a chance with Southern Legend with that track work that you highlighted, Paul. There, those 2 good gallops. He's going to give away a start, but he's a horse that's got quality and I think still scope to improve this season. So I'll take a chance with him, but I do think Fabulous One is the one to catch. I think Chris So's really eyed off this race for him, and he'll jump, he'll run. We're on the B course. The track, it's like a lush piece of grass they'll be running on. I think it'll actually potentially maybe favour horses on the speed on our first day. So with that in mind, Fabulous One is going to be very hard to catch. Blizzard's very honest, and Shamal will get a gun run, but the class will probably tell. I've tipped Southern Legend there, but I would suggest the better the race is probably Fabulous One win place. It's only 2 dividends. I'd be very surprised if he didn't run in the first two.
The market's still fluid at the moment, Paul, but what do you see as the play-wise then?
Yeah, me as well. I'd Fabulous One to win. I'd just go straight out on him. You'll get a great sight for your money. He'll be leading most of the way. I think Shamal will sit off him. So Fabulous One for me to win.
Excellent. All right, was that the first look at the touch screen? Looking forward to it in particular. Looking forward to this button. I don't know what happens when you press that one.
I hate to think.
Yes, we'll have to do some searching.
There could be a few gifts come up there.
All right, so we're using
You
the
love a free
touchscreen
gift.
throughout the course of the season. That's the feature race, though, the HKSAR Chief Executives Cup. We'll be back after this with the first leg of the Triple Trio.